were approached about a year ago by a company called Abu Dhabi Media Company, which is basically a government funded. The government of Abu Dhabi, by the way, is the one that has a lot of money. Dubai is the one that doesn't have any money. Abu Dhabi has a lot of money, and that's the one that bailed out Dubai. So Abu Dhabi Media Company has been fairly aggressive in trying to build a global position for itself. It's made big investments with National Geographic Television, with Participant Media, which is Jeff Skoll, the eBay founder's media company that did films like Inconvenient Truth and Syriana. They've got $200 million there. They've got a big investment in Vivo, the new online music startup. And they decided it was time to focus a little attention on the place they come from, which is Abu Dhabi. So they came to us and said, hey, would you be able to put something together? And we had some experience. We did a thing called Monaco Media Forum. And that had been fairly successful. So we thought, let's do it, but here's the pitch. We're going to pitch it at emerging markets. You guys are in the middle of the Middle East. You're 3 hours from Mumbai. You're 6 hours from Shanghai. Everybody, is buzzing about emerging markets, partly because it's one of the only areas in the world where like for instance, the financial crisis, it's what financial crisis? And that's not just Abu Dhabi. It's actually, India, China, they've all been clocking 8-10% GDP growth. So a lot of big media companies, if you watch carefully in the newspaper, a day rarely goes on when Viacom or Time Warner or News Corp doesn't announce a new distribution deal in that part of the world. So we thought, let's try this. And we thought, well, who would be better to get for a keynoter than Rupert Murdoch? So we called up News Corp, and they said, delighted. So we had Rupert in from the beginning, which was a big help, obviously. We're using a co-chair model. So we have 17 or 18 big chairman CEOs that range from Rupert and Tim Armstrong and people like that, to Prannoy Roy from NDTV in India, Kai-Fu Lee, who you might remember as the head of Microsoft, both Microsoft and later Google in China. And he was the guy they fought over in court. Another of our co-chairs is the head of KT, which is Korea Telecom, which are the world's most unbelievable bandwidth. You ever read one of these stories about how South Korea has awesome bandwidth? Well, they're the guys that do it. So we've got everything from the Mideast to Korea, and we've got everything from old media to new media. And we've got a lot of ground to cover, but the good thing is that means we can cherry pick interesting subjects, so we think it's going to be a big success. We're doing panels, but we're trying to keep them to 3. So for instance, the first panel is Dirk Meyer, who's the CEO of AMD, Johnny Shi, who's the chairman of Asus, which makes the netbooks, Mr. Cool Taiwanese netbook company, and that guy I just mentioned from KT Corp, who is the big bandwidth provider. We're calling that the road ahead, and they're going to talk about the sort of technological drivers in terms of hardware and bandwidth that's going on. Then we've got a big mobile panel that comes up right after that, chairman of Ericsson, chairman of Bharti Airtel, biggest mobile company in India, which is very big indeed, and Etisalat, which is the biggest mobile company in the Middle East. This is a big guy event. And so the theory is that we wanted in the first year to really put a stamp on it. And we've talked about sort of Sun Valley, in the winter Sun Valley, and I don't know whether our friends at Allen and Company will be mad at us for using it, but I don't think it's TM. So that's kind of what we're looking for here, is a very high-level sort of deal-maker conference rather than a nitty-gritty trade conference. We've got John Fort's coming from Fortune, Andrew Edgecliffe-Johnson from the Financial Times. We've got lots and lots of press coming. There's some guy named Andy Plesser from Radish TV, no, Orange TV, Beat TV, that's right. Andy's going to be doing our video coverage on the spot. We like what Andy does because it's so great to actually get these people off stage. I mean, much as we like putting them on stage, I personally prefer all of them off stage, and so Andy will do the off stage side. We have lots of press, and we've got, it's in the Middle East especially, this has suddenly gotten to be, the core audience for this is Mideast in India, simply because, as I said, it's a 3-hour trip from Mumbai, which is pretty doable, and people go back and forth a lot. Again, this is the thing people in New York and California don't realize it, but in fact, that's like the equivalent of New York to California is Mumbai to Dubai. And so that's our core audience for this, and obviously we have a lot of outside people, so it's a big attraction, and we hope it will be a big success.